The 1983 Dracula release from Imagic is somewhat revered among Intellivision fans because it is an original and an exclusive title, and because in it you play as Dracula and must drink the blood of victims in order to survive for as long as possible. Dracula was designed by Alan Smith, with Wilfredo Aguilar assisting on some of the graphics. So, as the sun sets, Dracula rises, hungry for the blood of fresh victims. And as Dracula, the goal of this game is to stalk the streets at night, feeding on people walking the streets, or by luring them out of their homes. However, as Dracula bites his victims, his actions will call the attention of the local constable, who will try to slow him down by driving a stake into him. And the dangers don't only include the patrolling policeman, but also a chasing white wolf, both of which can be avoided by turning into a bat and flying away. But in doing so will trigger a purple vulture to swoop down and try to take the bat. And if the vulture succeed, well, it's game over, so it's vitally important you outmaneuver it. And to keep that pesky policeman away, you can also bite victims and turn them into zombies. And by using the second Intellivision controller, you can move the zombie to chase the police away, which I thought was funny. Unfortunately, zombification only lasts for 10 seconds though. And the overall purpose of the game is that Dracula must feed on a certain number of victims and return to his tomb before sunrise, or he will not survive to feed another night. Dracula can be played as a single player game, or two players taking turns. In the single player game, the player takes on the role of Dracula as he attempts to bite as many victims as possible, such as joggers and other neighbours, to keep his strength up between midnight and 6 AM. And in the two player game, well, each player can take turns playing as Dracula, or one player can be Dracula while the other takes on the role of one of his victims. And the second player is awarded with points for avoiding Dracula's bite attacks. The reviews for this game were pretty good. From contemporary reviews, the video game update gave the game a positive review, noting that the graphics and sound effects were quite good, with only the vulture being a bit weak due to it being a bit blocky. Perry Greenberg of Video Games Magazine stated that the game had made Imagic prove once again that it can make captivating games that make extraordinary use of Intellivision's graphic capabilities. Michael Blanchett of Electronic Fun and Computer and Games found the game most fun with the two-player simultaneously play mode, noting that he found little use for the zombie. Blanchett also complimented the humour in the game, noting that the victims scurrying around in fear, oblivious to the fact that they're about to lose their juggler to some maniac. Greenberg also wrote that the gameplay was varied enough to sustain interest, but controlling the game was difficult for more sudden and rapid movement. Mark Brownstein of Joystick gave the game a 3-star rating out of 5, referring it to as a so-so game, with limited strategy and occasional rapid reflexes, but was still a unique game for the Intellivision. Some reviewers commented on the potential violence in the game, with the video game update and Blanchett noting the game was not as gruesome as it sounded, while Brownstein noted that unless you relish games where you score points for killing people and not just alien spaceships, you may think twice before you buy it. In 1984, the editors of Electronic Games Magazine awarded Dracula the Certificate of Merit in their year-end awards for Video Game of the Year. Nice. And from Retrospective Reviews, Brett Weiss, in his book Classic Home Video Games from 1972 and 1984, commented that the gameplay in Dracula was somewhat repetitive, but found the game worthwhile due to its atmospheric graphics, specifically the detailed backgrounds and the time passage being illustrated through a sky that changes colour. Retro Gamer included Dracula in their list of top 10 games for the Intellivision. The writers of the magazine stated the game was well loved by collectors and noted that the game's graphics and that nothing complicated in Dracula, but what there is presented brilliantly. So there you go. Now, for me, Dracula certainly brings back those nostalgia memories playing this game as a kid. And as a game, Dracula does sound more interesting to play than it actually is, but I have to say, it certainly does have its moments. And surviving into a second day, well, it's quite an achievement. Certainly one of my favourite games on the system. Okay folks, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed my short video of Dracula. Thank you very much for watching, much appreciated. Now, please remember to like my video, share a comment, and better still subscribe. Until my next video, I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.